Been thinking about doing this video for a while because we've had really great success with my dog Candy, who has lost 1.5 kilos in the last few months. And if you knew how much she ate before that, you just wouldn't believe it was possible that we would, give her even less. But all I did was take the grain out of her diet, and I had to do it through something because she's 11 years old, and the doctor had given her painkillers. I'd taken her in. She'd been diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, or just arthritis anyway, and like I had been diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis probably at least 5 years ago, and at that time I couldn't even get out of bed hardly without sort of bent up over like an old woman, and take me half an hour just to stand up straight, and just an agony with my hands, my toes, and my joints. But I then found out about inflammation and inflammatory foods, and the main one, which really shocked me, was milk. And the only milk that I actually have is like in my coffee. And so I stopped having my milk. They also said like pork, so I stopped pork for a while. But then, so I just stopped having my coffee, and I started to heal myself. But I must say that I give a lot of credit to something called moringa. Moringa is a herb that is incredible for anything like that, or for anything else either, actually. So I just really wanted to do a video because Candy has lost 1.5 kilos since I just took her off grain. And I don't have much grain, because, praise God, I came across a wonderful man called Robert Atkins, and you would have heard of the Atkins diet. And I came across him, I don't know, 10 years at least, 15, 20 years ago. And as soon as I just heard him talking on the TV in the next room, in the days we used to have TVs going in the next room, and I just knew from his voice, the Holy Spirit just telling me, listen to this man, he's telling the truth. And that's when I came to understand the connection between grains and our bad health, and why they have made that pyramid. That was all to do with lawyers and accountants, and the pyramid of foods. Well, the truth is, you turn that pyramid upside down, and then you'll get your health back. But they don't want you to know that. So anyway, I was going to show you Candy because she's just looking so incredible. 6 months ago, when she wouldn't even come for walks with us, and so I've been putting up with this. So consequently, unfortunately, I've put on a whole heap of weight as well, because even when we go to the beach, we can't go for long walks. If she walks too much, she ends up in too much pain. So it's just been a bit of a nightmare. And our poor old Rexy, of course, he's a German Shepherd, and he just wants to go, 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 go. So, it's been a bit of a drag. And as I said, like I've put on just kilos and kilos. So I'm going to have to work really hard to, to get it off now. But thankfully, even though the doctors, the verdict wasn't good, and she put Candy on these painkillers, and the painkillers made her as sick as a dog, as we say. So I took her off those, and but I just took all the grain out of her diet, and she's lost 1.5 kg, and she's looking absolutely fantastic. And I knitted her woolly jersey, so she doesn't get cold, and she's back to her old self. So she comes trotting with us, with Rexy and us, for our walks again. So we'll be back in action. So it's really great, because the prognosis of the doctor was not good. Basically she said, oh, okay, in a few months, if these painkillers stop working. I gave her 2 painkillers, and she was so sick. I thought, I'm not giving her those ever again. So I make her these treats, and I do mean to actually sort of show you how to make these treats that I just make, and I put the moringa into the treats, and turmeric and ginger, all these things you can find online now, because like another thing, the reason I've put on so much weight is I decided to go off my thyroid problem pills, knowing now that we just cannot trust the medical fraternity, that I'm just not prepared to do it. And so, so consequently, I've put on like probably four kgs anyway, which, in my age and state, I just can't take. So, but I'm not, prepared to go back on them. So I'm just going through it, and that's the only side effect that I've had. But I can't really put my weight down to that, because it could be just the lack of the inactivity as well. So, but I just came across this, so this is why I'm doing this now, and I am unable to show you how much weight Candy has lost, because they're over there on their bed and you probably can't see them. And hey, and guess what? I delivered my first calf today. So how cool is that? So there they are, asleep, but you can see there she is. She's just nice, slimmed right down and fantastic. But this is what I actually just saw on my MSM. Are you an 80-year-old woman? The Google search that changed the course of this woman's life. Oh, yeah, okay, whatever. And here we have, why do your joints look like that? For 27-year-old Taylor Greenish, questions like these are a part of life with a chronic incurable disease. Absolute bull. It's totally curable. 13 years after she was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, Grealish is now attempting to shift the stigma associated with the inflammatory disorder, particularly in young people. So this shows you, this is just absolutely nothing. Here we go. However, rheumatoid arthritis is typically and mistakenly believed to be an illness that affects the older population, a misconception that takes a significant toll on younger sufferers such as Grealish. Okay, the young woman explains she was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis when she was 14. Okay, why? Because of grains, inflammation, and some of you may have the woman that did this monstrosity of a mural showed herself with her crutches, and she's had a hip operation. My husband also works with a woman who's like only 40. She went in for a knee operation, and they said, oh, you need hip operation. They gave her a hip operation. Since the you-know-what, massive numbers of young people are needing knee and hip operations. It's absolutely skyrocketing, and you can just Google, it was like, that. You can just Google increase in young people needing, being, diagnosed with arthritis and needing this. So, but just look what happened here. So I went to all this trouble of posting my wonderful news. I was diagnosed with this disease probably 5 years ago, as was my dog early this year, and like her, I cured myself by giving up inflammatory food, namely milk and pork. But after about a year, I found A2 milk was just fine, and bacon is also back on the menu, and I have no issues at all, although moringa has been a huge help, and also ginger and turmeric. I am almost 69 now and feeling 100 times better than I was 10 years ago. My dog would not even come for walks with us 6 months ago, and the vet gave painkillers that nearly killed her and then told us severe injections would be available when the painkillers stopped working. But I took all the grain out of her diet and knitted her a woolly jumper, and she has since lost 1.5 kgs and is back to her old self again. And guess what? Community guidelines. Oh, this community was not posted because it's duplicate. It wouldn't let me post it. I keep posting it. Watch this. Community guidelines. Something went wrong. Please try again. Try again. No, there's no way that they'll let me post that. So this it is something that you need to really look into. We all need to learn to heal ourselves now and to stop abdicating our health responsibilities to doctors, because they're killing us. And surely what we've been through should be enough to make you know that we cannot trust them. So, I wanted to do that. I can't wait to actually share my news, when I go and have my blood tests done, because, basically I just got to the point where I thought, well, how am I ever going to fix my thyroid if I keep giving it levothyroxine? It's never ever going to work for itself, is it? So if I don't kick the little mongrel into action, that's it. I'm stuck with it, and I just don't trust those suckers anymore. So, so look these things up for yourself, but, Dr. Atkins, you can look him up, and I would still say, even though after like 30 years, he was so derided, and they couldn't even after he died, they had to put this false story about him dying obese on a New York street or something, because he was such a threat. He was a cardiologist, and what he taught cured people of their diabetes, heart disease, everything. It so revolutionized the world, and now of course everyone's onto these carnivore diets, and and everybody has now got onto understanding what he was doing, but I still think, because he was a cardiologist and he was the first, he is the most moderate. For anybody who doesn't know about this, he has the most sort of kudos. Although you can amazing doctors online. If you just go look up no grain, no pain, no grain, no pain, you'll find incredible resources, and it will change your life, I assure you. Okay, so be blessed and be healthy. Bye-bye.